Ready, set, go.
And I'm heating up my beanbag for my shoulders.
Hell yeah.
Pop in.
Hi,
buddy.
Bonk, you sound like you just sort of like emerged from the earth.
That's how he is.
I ain't gonna lie. I was asleep like 15 minutes ago.
Nice. Nice.
We wake
I
you
love
up
that.
out of stasis to be a satellite, and then we put you back in stasis afterwards.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to part 3 of 20,020. It's the third one.
Is it?
It sure is. That's why they call it part 3.
You know.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Oh, great. There's
Yeah.
3 of them now.
Technically, we are on chapter 5. Without further ado, let's get freaking started with part 3 of 20,000. Actually, yes, part 3 of 20,020. Okay, let's get started.
Let's do it.
It's Monica. Yeah. No, still nothing. He keeps saying it was in a chest of some kind, like a treasure chest. Well, I don't know what's the difference between a regular chest and a treasure chest, besides the treasure. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. UCLA's asking for an extension, though. They want us here 3 more days. I know. I don't know. Of course we can't know for sure. He might be fucking with us, but he seems like obsessed with this. Like he just knows the ball is in there somewhere. Yeah. Well, listen, here's what I think. I think he really does believe the ball is in there. I also think we've been here searching for a week, and the search area is about 28 acres. That's really not that big. There are 20 of us looking. We would have found it. Okay. No, I'm good with that. I'll let him know. Yep. Bye.
What'd she say?
No extension. We gotta pack up at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think we're wasting our time here. Did she tell you about the scoreboard?
No, what?
We moved up in the rankings. Look, this was just a minute ago.
Oh, we're 13, baby!
Looks like Georgia had a little accident. Wonder what the hell just happened out there.
I don't know. I don't care.
We're tied with a million other teams, and I bet the rest of them actually know where their damn football is.
Hey, 13 is 13.
Yeah, we gotta celebrate. Maybe we could rent a private party up at that bar in Pryor Creek.
Yeah, but you know the field only runs along the indoor part of the bar. I want to sit outside somewhere.
Could go up to Hardy.
Hardy, Nebraska?
Well, yeah, I think that's the nearest bar if we keep going north. I don't know. We'll see what Coach thinks about it.
Anyway, gonna go break the news to Grumpy.
Oh, not Grumpy. You don't have to call him that.
We've been around the dude for a week, and all he does is mope around.
If I fumbled, I might too.
It was 63 years ago. Whatever. I'm gonna head up there. I'll be back. Where's he at?
He was about at the 490,000 last I saw him.
All right. I'll be back. Hey, Chuck.
Hey.
You see the scoreboard?
Nah, I was, still looking.
Georgia lost to football. This was just a few minutes ago.
No fooling? Someone else pick it up?
Not as far as we can tell.
Well, what you want to do now is... How long you been playing?
About 300 years?
Well, some of you newer players haven't necessarily seen something like this, but it's happened a few times where some poor sucker just airmailed the ball onto a boat or something like that, and that boat just goes on down the lake, none the wiser.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you folks look and see. What you want to do now is watch to see if there's any blips on the scoreboard. If you see a team pop up and back down, you can bet your hat that's what happened. Just a boat passing through their field. Now, if the score pops up and down real fast, that's something faster. Maybe a dump truck or something like that. There was actually a story once about a hawk come and picked up the ball, flew a few hundred miles. I don't think that's true, though.
Yeah, that never happened.
This is fun. It's fun to see when opposing players are pals.
Me too. It's actually not too uncommon to see this. Kind of depends on the program's culture, really. Some schools are hell bent on victory. Some are a lot more chill.
Where do these teams fall on that spectrum?
Well, Louisiana Tech and UCLA are both kind of bottom feeders these days. Not a lot of depth, lots of newer players with less experience. I mean, both programs hit the game serious, but they're still a few centuries away from relevance, and they seem to know that. But, and fingers crossed here, they may be about to deliver something crazy. See, Louisiana Tech and UCLA do not have an alliance with each other. That's not what they're doing here. Story time?
Always.
Story time. It's 63 years ago, the year 19957. Then, as now, UCLA had 0 footballs. Like a lot of other goose egg teams with any particularly great ideas, they decided to send out 5 squads of 20 kind of just roam around the country. They go on patrols, pick up whatever intelligence they can, hope they get lucky. One of these squads is down in Texas, marching up the Kansas field just outside of Tyler, Texas. One day they run into a Texas A&M team with a football they're trying to bring home. This team has 28 players, outnumbering UCLA by a few. But hey, it's enough to play some football.
Whoa, what's this?
This is known as the Castle Keep Formation. It alludes to the inner keeps medieval lords would build inside their castles, naturally.
Give me a second with this. I haven't had nearly as much time as you guys have had to study up on the game. I mean, I'm still trying to read up on West Coast offensive 1980s.
You are younger than hell.
I'm older than both of you.
You old as hell.
It's officially known as the Castle Keep offense, but I and a lot of others prefer to call it the throw pillow offense. It's bloated and overcrowded. Imagine the triple option, except instead of a ball carrier, every option is an extra offense. Upon taking the snap, the quarterback can drop back and make her reads as usual, or she can pitch it back to her second or third quarterback. This offense briefly came into vogue around the 90th century. Problem is, it overcomplicates things for you a lot more than it does for your opponent. It's for advanced offensive thinkers only. In lesser hands, it's a mess.
Yeah, that was the case here. Thing about the modern college game is that's mostly made up of running around the country trying to get to the ball. You could very well go a long, long, long time without ever taking a snap. Tough to retain play calling discipline. More often than not, it's probably in your best interest to keep it simple. But these are human beings, and human beings love playing with their toys. It's 1st and 10. Quarterback pitches it back to the second quarterback on the left side, who doesn't catch it cleanly. He just chucks it out of bounds. Damn near gets an intentional grounding penalty. 2nd and 10. This time they draw up 9 verts, 4 wide receivers, the tight end, and both running backs from both auxiliary offenses, all streak downfield. But as is common practice, UCLA has stationed 3 of its safeties way upfield to play prevent. With the help of that little line of trees, they successfully break it up. Complete lack of imagination from A&M here, and they paid for it. All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 10. Now, if you turn the ball over on downs, it's not really the end of the world, right? UCLA will get the ball, but you can still outnumber them. You can most likely stop them and get it back. But A&M is trying to get the hell out of Dodge. They're tired and it's getting late. They want to make one huge gain that lets them streak miles downfield and get this over with. So they call 9 verts again.
This sucks. They need to ditch this offense. You outnumber them. You don't need to try any misdirection or obscure your intent. Just beat them up.
I agree with you. And coincidentally, so does fate. This is where Chuck comes in.
Oh, Chuck.
Hail
Oh.
to the chief.
Oh,
Chuck was
no. Oh no!
Holy
This
shit!
This man has not played the game.
This man's just sitting around,
This
bro.
man has done. I've done more sports than Chuck Hamilton.
Yeah. Same. And I'm asthmatic.
Chuck's a terrific player whose talents as a defensive end have been wasted on the UCLA Bruins. This is the first time he's ever had a sniff at scrimmage football in hundreds of years. This is his big chance, and as one of the de facto members of this squad, it's his turn to call defense's next play. He calls everyone's favorite zero blitz.
Oh, fuck yes!
Whoa.
Jesus,
a lot.
okay.
It's my favorite. I'm sorry. If you pull the trigger at the right time, sending your entire team out as a blitz, it's effective and it's beautiful.
Lady, you're gonna love this because this isn't just a zero blitz; it's a targeted zero blitz. Chuck is pushing all his chips in here. He believes that the third quarterback is going to ask to make a throw since he hasn't yet. So UCLA decides they're going to bum rush the west side of the field. His guess is absolutely right. UCLA's line shifts west. Their safeties creep up the line just before the snap, then flood the west side of the field. A&M's third O-line is just eaten alive. The third quarterback tries to skip the pocket, but Chuck is all over him. Chuck balls up a fist, lunges at him, and punches the ball right out of his elbow. Gorgeous technique. It's the first time he's touched the ball in centuries. He stumbled forward and picks the ball up off the turf. He's got it.
Seems like what offenses really need in this game is an offensive safety or two. A couple players positioned way back to prevent, well, what's about to happen.
Yeah, if they did that, they almost certainly could have stopped him.
There's something I think about often, and it ties into something we talked about last time around. I think if you sat these people down, I don't know, 1990, and explained to them that they would live to forever, they would imagine themselves in the distant future as supremely wise people. They'd tell you, well, with all this time in the world, I'll come to understand everything in the world. I won't make mistakes anymore. I won't fuck up anymore. I'll become the best version of myself. And it might well be true that they become the best versions of themselves. That version still screws up relationships and leaves their sweater on the plane. That version still plays million-yard football like it's 100-yard football.
Mm-hmm. And thank God, because that is how this little odyssey began. On paper, Chuck wasn't the fastest guy on the field, but he hauled ass all the way to Oklahoma without getting caught. When it comes to long-distance football, whatever's on paper often goes out the window. It comes down to who really wants it the most, who's willing to run for 19 hours a day, and who prefers to call it in and ask for another squad on your team to run them down. Nobody wanted it more than Chuck, turns out. Now, when you're a lone ball carrier, the smart move is to change fields as few times as possible. You don't want to leave a trail on the scoreboard. They see USC move up in the rankings, and they go down, and Kansas State moves up. Then they go down, and Grambling moves up. Everybody in the country can correctly guess that you're moving a ball in southeastern Oklahoma, where those three fields run past each other. If that happens, they find you, and you're fucked.
What happens if you have to line up at scrimmage and you're the only player on your team?
Something very stupid. The old NCAA football rule book was our foundational text, and in almost every case, we tried to interpret it as literally as possible. Of course, there was neither a rule nor mere insinuation for how a one-player offense should line up, so we just did our best. The only player lines up at center and snaps the ball to nobody. And no football rules is to be treated like a fumble is treated. Logically, it's legal for the center to then turn around and recover it.
But it would be just as legal for the defense to just bowl you over.
Yeah, it's a painful and humiliating experience.
That's cool.
That sucks.
That's cool. Motion passes 2-1. So back to our buddy Chuck here. He's made about 200 miles north. He's trying to stay on the Kansas field a while longer than cut northwest. This is what players are coached to do when they're carrying a ball by themselves. In the Northwest United States, it's a lot more sparse. There's a lot less action. Less likely to run into trouble. From there, he can just link up with the UCLA field, mission complete. Out then at about the Kansas 398 800-yard line south, he runs into trouble. He's hit to the Arkansas River. I was about to say Arkansas.
What do you
No,
mean,
they actually did
Arkansas?
misspell Arkansas, so I'm gonna read it how it's spelled right now.
Yeah.
But then
That's
about
one of my favorite
Kansas,
videos.
then about Kansas's 398,800 yard line south, he runs into trouble. He's hit into the Arkansas River. And on the other side, he sees a huge squad of KU players who finally showed up to figure out what a ball is doing on their field. Chuck doesn't have a choice. He jukes Northeast, transfer to Western Michigan's field. Then Northwest up on Louisiana Tech's field. He knows that by doing this, he's going to set off all kinds of alarm bells again. People see Kansas pop on the scoreboard, then Western Michigan, then Louisiana Tech. Everybody's going to know you got a ball, and they're going to know right where you are. So Chuck's on Louisiana Tech, and he's shit out of luck. He runs upfield and sees an army of Washington players coming through, looking for him under every log. He looks downfield. Kansas players doing the same thing. Bad news all around. I only hope now is to try and hide the football and come back for it at a later point. Now, two things to know about this if you didn't bother to read the rule book I sent y'all. First thing is that...
I read it.
Nerd. First thing is that you aren't allowed to significantly alter on-field structures or terrain. So you can't, for example, bury the ball. But if people would do that, this game would never, ever end. Second thing is that every ball gives off a faint glow in the dark. This means you got to be really, really skilled at hiding the ball. You got to put a lot of thought into it. Or in Chuck's case, get almost impossibly lucky. He's skirting around the hills outside of Lost City, desperately for somewhere to stash the ball, and eventually finds an old storage trunk. It's old, thousands and thousands of years old. They have no fucking idea how it got there or what it's doing in the middle of nowhere. Neither does Chuck, but he doesn't care. It's sunken into the ground, sticking out just enough for Chuck to pry the lid open and drop the ball in it. Now, this is where he should look around for landmarks to figure out exactly where he's at. But he's panicked and exhausted and seriously sleep deprived. And it's in the middle of the night. He glances around, feels like he has a good idea of his location, and walks out of the hills. When Kansas players intercept him, they find him without a football. He gives him a friendly wave and goes on his way.
But, like you said, everyone in the country can deduce that it's up there in the hills somewhere.
Well, Washington spent all night in the hills. 40 or so players combing every stretch, looking for something that glowed in the dark. Couldn't find the fucking thing. After 3 nights of searching, they gave up. But meanwhile, the rest of the country just assumed Washington recovered it.
Yeah, but the scoreboard showed that Louisiana Tech had a ball on their field. It still says that now. Why would people assume that?
Well, they assumed that Washington took the ball and hit it somewhere else in Tech's field. Took it and hit somewhere way up north, probably, although, from their perspective, there's no telling.
You can do that.
Sure, why not? Teams have sometimes done that. It's a known tactic.
Why would you hide your ball in someone else's field if you had a choice?
Hey, maybe you found a real good hiding spot. Or maybe you just want to drive your opponent nuts. Remember, all that matters is that you have all the balls on your own field at the end of the game. Until then, you can dump them wherever you think is safe. To Louisiana Tech and everyone else, that seemed like a far more reasonable explanation than 40 people spent 3 nights looking for a glow-in-the-dark football that was hidden by one dude who didn't even know the terrain and they couldn't find it. And indeed, for the last 63 years, Louisiana Tech has had a ball in their field. They can't find it, and it drives them fucking crazy. Chuck has wanted to sneak back in and find it, but the area is just so hot with activity these days that he couldn't go anywhere near these hills that drawing suspicion from Tech. But UCLA really wants to bring this ball home, so they struck a deal. You can sort of think of this as an archaeological mission. UCLA called up Louisiana Tech, and it was like, hey, you know exactly where it is. If you let Chuck here onto your field for a few days to go get it, we'll challenge a conventional football game on your home field, old school. 100-yard football, 100 players on each team. Winner takes the ball.
Holy shit, this I want to see.
Me too, except he can't fucking find it.
Well, listen, Chuck. I just got a call from up top a few minutes ago. No go on the extension. They want you out of here by sundown.
I see.
We can see it from our position. We've been led on wild goose chases before. A few years ago, Minnesota fed us fake info, and we ended up pulling a third of our team out of Illinois to go look for it.
I know that. I heard all about that. Yeah, but I ain't pulling your chain, Monica. It's right here. It's right around here, and I know it.
Well, they hear all this stuff you're saying about a treasure chest, and it sounds fantastical.
It's real. It was real.
For the record, I believe you when you say that. I really do. I just think maybe someone else already came through here and found it.
No one could have known where to look. No one else could have found it. Hell, I can't even find it.
And maybe that should tell us something, shouldn't it? It could have been on another hill, maybe? You said it was dark and you were tired. You said you didn't have your phone on you. You know.
There it is. You're almost standing on it. It's right there.
And I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but maybe it was on another hill somewhere. There's lots of terrain in this part of the state that looks just like this. Our field runs through a lot of it.
Oh, no, I don't take offense. Truth be told, I've been asking that myself the last few days. And I sure am sorry if I led you folks astray. I know it's a big thing asking all these players to come out and help me look all week, but it's here. It's right around here, and I'll always believe that.
Oh, come on.
Oh, fuck.
Well, listen, I can vouch for you. My coach is going to be a little upset over this for a while, but maybe in a few years, we can check out another
God
hill and see what we
damn it.
can find.
Chances of that are pretty slim.
Yeah, they are.
Well, hey, I understand. Please tell your coach I'm sorry. I think I might keep looking around here till sundown if it's all the same to you. I don't expect you to come with.
Sure. I'll leave you to it. Hey, we're gonna be making some corned beef hash for dinner down at camp. To celebrate our new ranking. You're welcome to join up when you're done.
Might take you up on that, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
God damn, y'all saw it, right? Y'all saw it?
Yeah, I did. Just as you said, the lid was covered up in some leaves. That was all. Seems like they'll find it eventually. Monica clearly believes him, but then, of course, it's not like they'll need Chuck to help them. They'll get it on their own. Thus, no 100 on 100 game.
Us. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jay. I wanted to see it as much as you did. Ha ha ha! That's a little on the nose, though, isn't it? Losing a football right near a place called Lost City.
Well, if that's on the nose, then so is this.
What's that?
I found something. I think I know where the chest comes from. Do you have a minute?
Let me check.
Pioneer 10 console. Upcoming events.exe. Upcoming events calendar. November 8, 2020. Happy birthday to Pioneer 9. March 2nd, 2021. Happy birthday to Pioneer 10. May 20th, 2021. Happy birthday to the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer. Whoa, Juice's birthday is like 4 days before mine.
Nice.
Oh,
Hey.
Hilarious.
Hey,
September.
Juice is a Taurus.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm sure that means something.
I'm also a Taurus.
Nice. September 3rd, 110,083. Passing by dwarf star HIP 117795. January 14th, 200 and
A lot of numbers.
2,091,659. Passing by red giant Aldebaran.
Yes, I do.
Okay, look at this.
on in my glasses.
Here, I'll just show you. The James boys and the younger brothers. Jesse
Oh,
James,
Jesse James.
Frank James, Bobby Younger, Cole Younger.
Wait, can I read this?
Let's leave it.
Okay.
Wow, it's still in great shape.
The nanobus was designated as a structure and maintained it. Of course, all his money inside rotted away. Sorry about your luck, idiot.
Come on, that's not nice.
Wait, hold on. What do you know about the James Younger gang?
Well, I was built by 20th century Americans, so let me see. Apparently, I think he's Robin Hood with a gun. Oh, that's not right at all.
No, it's not.
This is going to be a problem for you, Nine. This was for me. The problem still is for me sometimes. You've got a gift for research. Just remember that this is the country that turned Confederate mass murderers into Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, this was a classic. I love this movie. Y'all gotta see it.
You actually watched this movie?
Oh, absolutely not. It's just my favorite movie, is all.
What's the weirdest field? Geometrically, I mean.
Well, when I first started surveying the field, I was quite hoping that I'd find some evidence of some kind of a large-scale ancient conspiracy. I mean, if all the stadiums were built at angles that pointed to the same spot, why would anyone have ever noticed? Seems like a really great satanic ritual.
Oh, that's a new one for you. Post-secondary education is satanic.
Oh yeah, it's just a school you have to pay for and live inside of, and if you're special, you get to work for free. My apologies. Unfortunately, despite my best wishes, I found no such conspiracy. In fact, I was kind of disappointed by how few anomalies found the intersection of these lines. I only got one single goddamn three-way intersection. You'd think that if you had 111 fields, each of which intersects with another field 20, 30, 40 times, you get more than that. But you could argue that Grambling State might be the weirdest field because they come real close at several points. See down here in the field of the Mississippi Sea, Grambling State missed hitting the Iowa-Mississippi intersection by about 700 yards, which might sound like a lot considering their stadium is 90 miles away. That's a very near miss. And way up northwest in Oklahoma, a good 350 miles away from Eddie Robinson Stadium, an even more tragic near miss for the Tigers. If only the Texas and North Texas fields 250 yards closer together, we would have had it. But unbelievably, from a far greater distance, they had an even nearer miss. Grambling State shoots its beam all the way from Louisiana to Nowheresville, Montana, but it misses the BYU-UNC intersection by 30 yards from about 1,500 miles away.
Ooh. You have me rooting for lines to run into each other. Incredible. Where's the triple intersection?
The one and only three-way intersection is right outside Hillsboro, Ohio, and it just barely counts. You can see that one little bitty sliver where Washington, Bowling Green, and Eastern Michigan overlap. The whole area is about 2,000 square feet, so it's like a pretty big house's worth.
Beautiful.
But this doesn't hold any tactical significance, right?
No, sometimes things are just being neat.
Didn't say that it couldn't. Didn't say that it couldn't. I just can't help but imagine a couple of rule changes that would infuse some interesting significance. Like if you beep 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 beep.
What's that?
Oh God, it's the extraterrestrial alert siren. We finally found someone out there. I can't believe it after all this time.
What?
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Let me see who it is. Hello?
Hi, requesting contact with the commissioner.
No, hello. Shh. Yo, I got a work call. This is the commissioner. May I ask who's calling?
This is Manuel Baez, free safety for San Diego State.
Mr. Baez. Of course. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, feet are a little sore. I've been on the move.
So I've seen. This is quite a journey you're on.
Well, you know, lots more journey to go. God willing, anyways.
Indeed. Good luck to you. What can I do you for?
Well, I was interested in seeking a rule clarification. Some years back, we submitted a game plan for league approval, and it was approved. but my teammate and I were reviewing the document we submitted, and we realized that there's a very minor discrepancy between the approved version and, you know, what we're planning at the moment.
Certainly. Let me retrieve it. Give me one moment. I forgot Juice was French.
Yeah, I don't really know what the accent is that I'm going for here.
Nah, he's from Alabama or some country. He's from the South. He's from the South.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much of this you remember since we submitted it a long time ago, but basically...
Oh, don't worry. I'm quite familiar.
Oh, don't worry. I'm quite familiar.
Shut up.
Well, if you flip to page 33, you will see the relevant section. In this plan, we described using D2, but there's been a change of plans, and we'd like to proceed with D1 instead.
I see. I'm happy to assist. I'll tell you what. I'll send some relevant rule documents. We can review them together. I'm sure we can find a solution.
Look at this fucking herb. Oh, yes, sir. I'm happy to assist, sir.
Lady, I am at work, okay?
LOL, you have a job.
You know what? Fuck y'all. I'm taking this private. I'm sorry for the delay, Mr. Bays. If you would kindly look first at Appendix G of the...
Wow. I have never seen him like that.
He's so buttoned up. I don't even recognize him. I guess commissioner is a job he takes seriously.
For once.
I love the open door policy. Wouldn't have guessed he'd have that kind of relationship with the players.
I think I know what he's doing. Every sports commissioner is hated. That's always been the rule. Go to a draft and announce the picks, show up for the game, whatever, and you're always booed. Whenever something goes wrong, it's your fault. He is trying to counteract that. God, he's trying, and I'm a little touched by that.
I wonder what this plan's about. Where are Nick and Manny now?
Haven't tracked them in a minute. Let me see. Oh, they split up. What the hell? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Nick continued north on Georgia Tech, Manny cut left on WKU, and north on Michigan State. Looks like they're up in Tennessee. Manny's just outside the Emory Gap, and Nick's up in the hills. Do you notice a scoreboard change?
Nope. Nick must have all the footballs on the Georgia Tech field still.
Oh, yep. I don't get it. I don't know how splitting up does anything.
Neither of them are moving either.
I'm sure Juice knows.
Fuck that. Let's try and figure it out ourselves.
Well, okay. If Nick up there in the hills and he's not moving, he must be hiding. Seems like a good hiding place, too.
That might be all that's happening here. Nick took the footballs and is hiding out in the hills indefinitely. Manny's roving around various fields trying to gain intelligence and find out where the opposing players are. Then, one day, months or years from now, Manny decides that the coast is clear in the region and he and Nick take the footballs and make a run for it.
One guy is doing all the scouting? God, you might be right, but that would take forever. Of course, if you're going to hide out forever, I don't think there's a better spot. What a miserable scrap of land to try and comb through.
Yeah, you see those? The structures just west of the field? Yeah, that's the old Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. This was his third escape attempt at Brushy Mountain. On attempt number 3, he and some other inmates shoved an improvised ladder against the wall. The guard in the nearest tower panicked, tripped over his rifle, fell against the door, and locked himself inside. He was the one guy who could have stopped them. He'd conquered man's architecture, and next up was nature's, and the mountains crushed him. Across 2.5 days, he didn't even make it 10 miles. They found him lying on his back, too exhausted to move.
I remember this. When I first woke up, I scanned my residual memory first, looking for transmissions of the things I'd picked up on the last few years after I was launched. It wasn't until later that I came to realize who he was and what he'd done. At the time, I only thought about the mountains. I was traveling through the universe at 7 miles per second without even giving the slightest effort. I considered what it would be like to move with that difficulty. I was terrified of those mountains.
Well, clearly there's a lot to like about them, too.
Michigan State. Michigan State, I get.
You're still looking at this?
Yeah, see, their field and Georgia Tech's field don't intersect, and that's the problem.
You like this game.
No, I don't. There are things about it that I like.
You like it. Why are you so intent on letting on that you don't?
The thing about Juice and I is, I don't want to encourage him. As game builders, he and I are terrible collaborators. I see things like chaos and eccentricity as ingredients that should be balanced with the other components. He wants to make the whole casserole out of them. And I can only say no so many times without coming off as some sort of harpy. He's the fun one, and by default, I'm the boring one. You know, I love him, but after all these years, I've lost the desire to encourage him.
It means a lot to him, though. Clearly, it's different.
I don't know. What do you think about it?
The game itself? I think it's a celebration of the wild outcomes that originate from confines so rigid, so frustratingly letter of the law that you'd think they'd snuff out any remotely interesting outcome. In using the old college fields and the angles they sit along, there's a quality of sleep in the bed you made that you could argue is the story of modern America. In inviting 111 teams and placing 111 footballs on the field, it ensures that they'll take a very, very long time to play. It's like watching a star form. Fascinating to see, boring to watch. We're all experience eternal lives, and the interminable nature of this game reminds us that for a long time is no time at all, which personally is a reminder I found very edifying. I also think it sucks ass.
Yeah,
So tell me what you're looking at.
Okay. Suppose Nick and Manny were somehow able to hop directly from Georgia Tech's field to the Michigan State's field and take their 9 footballs with them. Those 9, naturally, would add to Michigan State's score, which is the change we'd see on the scoreboard. Of course, Georgia Tech falls out of top 5 entirely. Consequently, all the other teams here are bumped up a slot. But Michigan State doesn't move since they were the number 1 team to begin with. But teams only have access to scoreboards that only display the number of footballs that they themselves possess. So, if you're most teams, all you see is this. If this is all you see, what's your biggest guess as to what happened?
Well, obviously, Georgia Tech lost all their footballs. Of course, I didn't know how many they had in the first place. 25, 4, no way I can know based just on this. It's possible that South Carolina State got them since they moved up a spot. As an aside, this would mean that number 1, Michigan State, and number 2, Georgia Southern, are significantly out in front since SC State adds the Tech footballs to the balls that they already had and still only got to number 3. But it's also possible that of all Tech's footballs just fell off the field somewhere. That can happen. We saw it with the guy in the truck. Once he drove it off the field, the ball simply wasn't reflected on the scoreboard. I'd go with that as the most likely scenario. I feel like I'm playing some kind of sinister Sudoku variant.
But the one thing you wouldn't automatically deduce is that Michigan State got them, because they didn't budge.
Yeah, it's a possibility, but definitely not the only one.
Of course, if you're Michigan State, you are very well aware of what happened, since you get to see your total. So, If you're Nick and Manny, Michigan State is going to be looking for you, even if they don't necessarily know who you are or where on the field you are.
But at least they're the only ones who actually know what's up. Better just them than the whole country.
Right, and this is how hopping over to Michigan State's field would provide them with some sort of camouflage. Obviously, they still have to get all the way across the country. But my guess is that if damn near every team in the country see Georgia Tech just crater on the scoreboard, they're going to send everything they've got to the Tech's field just to see if they can spot the balls sitting somewhere off the field. 9 footballs is an enormous take, and a lot of schools have nothing better to do. If that happens, it empties out the rest of the country, and Nick and Manny have far less difficulty of a difficult time getting home. But again, this returns us to the central problem. Michigan State and Georgia Tech don't intersect. Spartan Stadium and Bobby Dodd Stadium were built at almost the exact same angle. If Nick and Manny carried the balls across literally any field to get over the Michigan State, that field's school would light up on the scoreboard. Look, Georgia Tech went all the way down at the same time as WKU went up. It's obvious to everyone that they crossed. Everyone knows where they're at, and they're done.
Well, let's just open up every possibility. How can you jump straight from yellow to green without using a third field? Let's get some ideas going, no matter how stupid. For example, Nick could throw it to Manny.
The fields are 10 miles apart.
Right, he can't throw it 10 miles. That's why I said stupid.
Obviously, the option is just to try and run across on the table, but they'd only have 18 minutes of out-of-bound time saved up. Not possible.
Let me just go down the list. They can't drive, right?
Nope, that's against the rules. You can't drive anything of any kind. No steering.
No bicycles, then.
Nope.
You can't ask someone who lives nearby to just deliver it for you?
No, non-players are completely forbidden from knowingly interacting with the ball in any way. And no, you cannot strap the football to a trained animal. That would be fucking hilarious, though.
Yeah.
It would be. As I just strap the ball to Goblin and I'm like, go! Clearly, if the guy in the truck is any indication, it's legal for a non-player to unknowingly transport the ball. There might be something there. Suppose someone works here and lives here. You just slip it into their car in the parking lot without them knowing, make your way to the other field, and fish it out of the car in their driveway. Obviously, this would require an unimaginable amount of scouting on top of an absurd amount of luck.
That seems like it would be legal. Technically legal. Practically almost impossible.
We should ask Juice if that's ever happened. I can't imagine this is Nick and Manny's grand plan, though.
Yeah, I agree. I guess you could... never mind.
What?
Nah, it's illegal anyway. No ropes longer than 100 feet. It's stupid. Never mind.
Ooh! Oh, you want to, tie the footballs to a rope that's miles long and then run to the other field and pull it across.
I know.
Like you're reeling in a fish, dragging the ball through miles of woods and streets and buildings and everything. A million things for it to get stuck on. And if that happens, you gotta burn tons of out of bounds time to get the damn thing.
Yeah, I know. Stupid.
Funny though. Hot air balloon? Unmanned, so no one steers it.
With no one in it? I guess you could. But you'd have no fucking idea where it would end up. Probably in the middle of nowhere.
Trying to think of natural forces of some kind. Tornado?
All right, Nancy.
Ooh, downriver. Just set it in the water. Worked for Moses.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's been done. I've seen it in other games. But in those games, you weren't confined. You could run around wherever you needed to go. Get it? It's pretty slow and very dicey. Really easy for the river to dump the ball on the bank somewhere, even if you set it in a canoe or something. Even then, tough to predict rivers. If you aren't positioned right, you could easily get past you, or it could easily get past you, and then it's just gone.
Yeah, Nick and Manny just have one to release it and one to catch it. I think they've invested way too many years into this to gamble it on something like that.
Damn, something you don't have to steer. You know, you'd think they would have invented teleporters by now. Of course, you'd have to input coordinates anyway, so I guess that's steering. Star Trek was set in the 24th century or so. We're in the 201st century, and the closest thing they have to intergalactic spaceships is me. Shame.
They have replicators, at least, for food and stuff.
Lots of good that does me.
Hang on. Train.
A train? A train's a vehicle.
There's nothing in the book that specifically outlaws vehicles, though. It's just no steering.
You steer a train, though. Clearly, when you move the switches, you're essentially steering.
You don't, though. It's automated. All you're doing is firing it up and shoving it down the track. Where it goes from there is out of your hands.
Well, which line is nearest to Nick and...
Already looked it up. This one. Look at where they're positioned. What else would they be doing here?
Okay, Manny's right near the track, but what's Nick doing up in the hills?
Watching for trains. From up here, he has a great view of Oliver Springs. He can safely watch for any trains coming through the area. Trains commonly park along this stretch too. Conductors will hop off a train and leave it there for days. Next time a train rolls through and parks along the field, he can run down there, chuck the balls on board, and start the engine.
So it becomes a ghost train, essentially. Nick loads him up and shoots it 10 miles west to the Michigan State Field, where Manny is waiting in Emery Gap. There are 2 switches between Oliver Springs and Emery Gap, and it looks like they're both in the right position. At the moment, anyway. But you can't stop it. I guess you'd have to make sure it runs out of fuel. You'd have to siphon a lot of it out, probably.
Or just punch a leak in the fuel tank.
Either way, that's a lot of math to do on their part. It's about a 13-mile trip along the tracks between the 2 fields, and Manny's got to save every second of OBT as he possibly can. If the train stops even a quarter a mile too long or too short, that means Manny has to run a half a mile there and back to get the balls. Even for someone as fast as him, that's 2 or 3 minutes. He cannot afford to kill that much time. And this is all supposing the actual locomotive stops on the tech field so that Nick can actually go downfield and rig it up. I don't know. This is crazy. I don't think runaway train is a viable strategy. Not here. Look, there are so many bends in the track, and there'd be no one on board to slow it down. No way it keeps from derailing.
Happened before.
Well, yeah, there have been runaway trains, but not...
Here. Right here. This exact spot.
Oh my god.
This is it.
This is what they're doing.
Before we start the video, I think that person at the beginning with juice might have been Manny.
Didn't they say
I don't think we were
explicitly
in the
who it
same
was?
place.
Yeah, he said his name is Manuel. Like, so you'd give your full name.
Oh.
Manny. I think that's what prompted you two to go to check in on what those 2 are doing.
Okay.
So I think that was Manny.
Okay. All right. Manny had a temporary different accent then.
It's a disguise.
Undercover.
He was doing an undercover voice for some reason.
Everyone's spontaneously Austrian-ish from time to time.
I was really getting French and Spanish for some reason. That was the vibe.
Yeah.
Did we guess right?
Yeah, exactly right.
We did it! What do we win?
a free copy of my self-published ebook, Wayne Gets the Measles.
Condolences to Wayne.
Essentially, Wayne comes home in 4th grade one day feeling under the weather. Alfred keeps him out of school for the next few weeks and tells him no crime fight until you're better. Without Wayne's shoulders to stand on, his brother Bruce must crawl into the street and fight crime all by himself. He's awful at it. His cape is way too long, so he keeps tripping on it. Can't see where he's going. Drives a Batmobile into the side of a Denny's.
Oh, but don't exit the video. That actually sounds pretty funny.
It's not meant to be funny. Frankly, I'm a little hurt that you would say that. Let's talk about something else.
When were you writing the rule book? Did you leave this train loophole on... Sorry. When you were writing this rule book, did you leave this train loophole in on purpose?
No, I honestly thought I made it illegal. Northwestern's field runs along a train depot in Chicago. On that, they approached me and argued that your trains are illegal. I had no choice to rule in their favor. Ultimately, though, they could find a way to make it useful.
Yeah, it seems like the use cases are a bit limited.
This would certainly be the first effective use of a train we've ever seen in this game. Nick's a skilled engineer, no question, but I still have my doubts about it.
There are so many unknowns. You shove something out there into the horizon so far off you can't see it. You have no control over where it goes. You just hope it finds its way.
You know, you would know a little something about that.
Sure would.
That's so ominous. That's so ominous.
Oh.
Oh my.
So wait, is 9 like just officially like known as dead?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
the
I
dead.
think 9 was like declared dead.
Oh,
Poor Janet.
it's like Opportunity.
Oh, no. Like it was maybe like a decade or so after it had been launched.
Yeah.
And they didn't expect it to come. They didn't expect her to come back to sentience,
And then.
a few tens of thousands of years later.
And then.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, sorry for the outburst in the middle of the thing. But decided to exit the video.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Because he decided to
All right.
walk across my laptop.
Oh, baby
Yeah.
boy. He just wants love.
All right, I sent a few files over. You should get them in a minute.
You're all right.
When's the last time you were in Tennessee, Mike?
Long time, man. Long time. Probably 900 years ago.
I'm sorry, hang on.
Hee-ho,
Why?
creepy frog here.
Why?
God, I love it. I love it.
I mean, that's
Oh,
a
no.
choice.
I love
That's a
it.
choice.
I love it. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Okay, all right.
These are the moments of unrehearsed audio theater that I live for.
Absolutely.
All right. You should make a trip here sometime. Trees are beautiful in the fall, especially if you can get up high somewhere.
You see any of those big neon signs when you cross the state line?
No, not really. When you cross into Tennessee from the check field, you just pass through the woods.
So, I lived in Georgia way back. Big thing everybody did was, basically all fireworks are illegal in Georgia, right? Like, you can get sparklers, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So everybody would just drive up to Tennessee, where you could buy any kinds of fireworks you wanted. It was all legal. As soon as you crossed Tennessee on I-75, you'd get a sunburn from all the neon signs for fireworks places.
So it was like a religious pilgrimage.
Yeah, exactly. I remember one time me and my dude, his name was Nick too, actually. He got this thing that was like a sun superpowered Roman candle. And Nick was a fucking idiot. And we're on his front porch, which is like screened in, and he decides he's going to shoot it off right there and then.
Oh no.
And I swear to God, when the nanobots take something's about to go real bad, it's not like normal you can't really see them. If it's an emergency, you can actually see a cloud of them.
Yeah, sure.
You can almost hear them like, oh shit, like they're mad. And I'm telling you, a cloud shot up off the ground and knocked the lighter out of his hand.
Holy shit.
I swear these fucking nanos have emotions. Or maybe just one emotion. They just get annoyed with you, having to save people from danger for the rest of the time.
They should be able to talk.
Yeah.
Like, if you're about to set off a Roman candle indoors, you hear this big booming voice out of nowhere. Danger, danger, idiot is near.
Hot citizen! Warning! Warning! You are dumb as fuck!
Fantastic interview from the football card company here. Reads like the Nixon Frost interviews.
I guess when you issue a football card for the same guy for 2,000 years, you start to run dry.
Looks like San Diego State and Grambling State have a partnership or something? That's why Nick and Mike are talking?
Yep, it makes sense for both of them. Both programs basically totally irrelevant on the scoreboard. Grambling has 0 footballs. SDSU only has 1 because nobody's bothered to run across the desert and play for it. Nobody's program, or neither program's on anybody's radar. You're all right. I got him.
Appreciate you taking a look. It's good having another set of eyes on it.
What the fuck is this handwriting, man? You write this with your right hand?
Well, yeah, I'm right-handed.
How do y'all do that? Right-handed, I mean.
I don't know. I just do.
It's so weird if people write right-handed. Like, whenever I try to do it, it all comes out all fucked up looking. Okay, you got 500 ton miles per gallon here. You know that varies a lot depending on the locomotive, and that's only at full speed.
Yeah, I figured it was a good enough guess, since I have no idea what kind of locomotive is going to pull up.
And then around 100 tons per subsequent car. If it's full of cargo, you got to push it all just over 13 miles. I mean, doesn't look wrong. It could be more right, but doesn't look wrong. You're probably going to be looking for a short haul train, right?
On this track, most likely. Maybe just a dozen cars or so.
I'm going to pull up some elevation data. Give me just a minute.
Once again, I enjoy it when players from opposing teams are pals. This one seems like an actual alliance.
Yep. Grambling's really the only team that takes SDSU seriously. Nick and Manny hit them up a while back because, unlike a lot of programs, Grambling actually does the shit they say they're going to do. Right now, they can offer SDSU assistance with call playing, which they need badly right now. Grambling has some players on the team who are engineers, mathematicians, whatnot. Folks who are real useful when you're trying to put together a game plan. Remember, though, SDSU is a joke. Almost all their players are players on paper only. Here, look at the OBT on this roster. Damn. Most have absolutely no time accrued, which means they haven't even been on a roster a year. Like number 26 is just on the team, ironically. He actually hates sports and plays in a retro 14,000 style rapabilly band where the drummer is a rapper.
What's rapabilly?
I'll let you solve that puzzle.
Oh no, not rockabilly rap. Christ.
Easily the best possible genre of music.
Eternal life and heaven are not the same thing, turns out. Anyway, point is, most of these players sign up as a joke.
That's a joke, yeah. Maybe it just fulfills some dream they have of being a football player, if only on paper. Although there are others who do suit up and are fully intent on taking it all serious. They think they can do it, and for a few years and decades or even centuries they do. But it's like, all right. Being a San Diego State player means that in order to actually play the game, you have to run that 5-mile stretch across the desert. If you're a very well-conditioned athlete, you can make it in 30 minutes. 30 minutes is 1,800 seconds. You get 1 second of OBT per year. So you need to wait around for almost 2,000 years. But hey, in the meantime, enjoy the city of San Diego. Oh, what I meant to say is enjoy this little ass sliver of San Diego. Enjoy the one coffee shop you got. Enjoy the 34 square feet in the dining area of the Thai place you love. It's a great spot. Make friends with the people whose lawns you can legally wander around in. People love it when you do that. Enjoy your stay. Let's touch base in 18 goddamn centuries. So nobody stays.
Least of all somebody with any kind of talent for this game. Players, planners, whoever is recruiting must be a nightmare. Nick and Manny have a coach and a couple of rookies who stand around doing jack shit mostly, hundreds and hundreds of years away from the day they'll actually get to play football. Who knows how much longer they're going to last? God, they've got nobody.
And that's why they need Grambling. Oh, this is a pain in the ass. Look at.
Oh, yeah. That stretch around Elberton. I was trying to figure out how to use that.
It drops about 100 feet there, but it makes a few slight curves along that stretch that'll slow it down.
What do you think?
Man, we're still flying blind here. We can't go walk down the track and scout it out. We got no idea what condition the track's in, how much it banks, where it banks. We don't even know what kind of train we're going to get. Going downhill like that is going to give you a little push for sure, but we can't read it anywhere near precise enough for you to make an intelligent call on how much fuel you need. Plan on it, but don't use it, you know?
This is the same hill that stopped that runaway train in 1910.
No shit.
Look. That train was going the opposite way, but it was steep enough to stop it going up. You figure it'll accelerate pretty significantly going down.
What I'm more interested is this little dude at the very end here. Big hill where it pulls into Emery Gap.
Yeah, that's gonna be my break. I'm hoping the fuel runs out a little before that point. Train starts coasting and the hill eases it to a stop.
You might.
I'm trying to rig it up so that it stops right before it gets to Michigan State. If it hits the field or overshoots it by a little bit, we can work with that. But the second the footballs hit their field, they're gonna see it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I get you. You'd rather let it chill just off this field for a while, let Michigan State notice Georgia Tech fall down the scoreboard, and send their players down to Tech instead of looking for you.
Yeah, and once we feel like they've took the bait, after a few days, we pick up the balls and run. That buys us some time and space, at least. I'm trying to park it like 10 or 20 yards from the field. Any more than that, it's just more seconds of OBT Manny's gonna have to spend to run out and get it. We need every second.
I know you do, man. Now, look, you're trying to pull right up to a section of track that's 72 yards long, and you're shooting across more than 20,000 yards to get there. This is like trying to put in a golf ball from more than 100 yards out. But not only that, you're not even allowed to walk around on the green to get a golf and to get a feel for it. You want my advice as an engineer? You can't engineer this shit. Too much shit you don't know. Just get in the ballpark and hope you get lucky. Don't use any math you learned after Algebra 1. That'll get you on the dartboard, but luck's the only thing that'll get you on the bullseye.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. We just gotta save every second, man. If I miss by too much, like if it's a couple 100 yards away from the field, that could be a minute of OBT he has to burn. Manny only has 18 minutes now. It's already gonna be real tough making that run in Cali. We're gonna have to run about 5 miles at 3:36 a mile. Take just a minute off, that's 3:24 a mile.
What pace did y'all make when you ran it the last time?
3:53.
God damn. You don't have the same amount of OBT, right?
We both have 17 minutes and 59 seconds, yeah.
I think what happens here, and I know you don't want to hear this, but I think what happens here is he takes the hit and you make the run alone. I think you need to get ready for a world where you can make the run and he can't.
I can't do that, man. I can't think like that. What I do is the difference between him making it home and getting ejected. I can't fuck this up for him. I had a nightmare last night where I started the train, sent it down the track, and missed it by a ton. And he had to spend 5 minutes running down the track to go after it. And they say you can't do math in dreams, but that's bullshit because I knew 5 minutes was 300 seconds, and 300 seconds is 300 years of OBT. 300 years he spent saving up that time, staying on the field, cooking me dinner, making me laugh, being there for me every time I was fucked up about something. And it's like I could see those years just vanishing from history, just disappearing. All because I fucked it up. Because I didn't do the math right. Forgot something, guessed wrong.
You can't see it like that. When you and your husband took your vows, I guarantee there was nothing in there about being God. Never been anyone's responsibility to do what's impossible. It's not yours.
You think it's impossible?
No, but you don't have all the numbers, so it won't be about the math. Here, tell me about the prettiest throw you've ever seen. The time you saw a quarterback drop one in and you were just like, how the fuck did they do that?
Well, this one isn't the best throw I've ever seen. Definitely wasn't even an important throw in the big scheme of things. God, I can barely remember what it even looked like. I don't think I've seen it since I saw it on TV. It was a Mike Vick throw. So I guess this would have been the year 2000 or 2050, sometime around then. Whenever it was, he was in the NFL. It's basically garbage time, right? He's on the Eagles at this point. Eagles are down a couple of scores. There's like a minute left. Game's pretty much over. It's 4th and long. Vic does all you can do in that situation, which is just throw for the end zone. He's got a tight end, Brad Chelik, I think. Brent Chelik. He's got defenders all over him, but Vic whips it into him. The thing about the way this ball looked in the air, it was like an optical illusion. On TV, it looked like it was going at like 1,000 miles an hour. No arc to it, looked like a bullet. But the thing is, when they showed the replay close up, when it landed in Chelik's hands, it dropped. If all you saw was that close-up shot, it looked like it floated to him. Floated perfectly through all the defender's limbs, through a window that was like exactly 1 football wide. Right in there. Touchdown didn't matter. They lost. But it was a touchdown.
I don't even remember that one.
Nah, I bet nobody does. Not even him.
You know what I bet anything on, though? Even at that moment, if you went up and asked him how he threw it, he wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, yeah, he'd be able to say, I made these reads. This was my progression. This was the pressure I was feeling on the right side of the line. This is how much confidence I had in my guy to haul it in. But the force he put on the ball, the motion of his arm, the timing of it, fuck no, he couldn't tell you how he did that. No one ever can. It's just something you do. And yeah, with this one, you got to train, you got maps, you got calculations. You're not working the mechanics he did. You're just filling a diesel tank and throwing a few switches. But it's still a throw. You just got to feel it. We love supportive Kermit in this house.
True.
Okay, yeah. Huh?
Hang on.
I needed to hear Kermit tell me that in the long run I can just do it.
Mhm.
You can do it.
You
I'm
just
proud of you.
gotta feel it out.
You just gotta
Okay.
feel it out. You can do it. Okay, y'all check it out. I checked the manifest. We should have a train coming down the track tomorrow. I was thinking we could run a broadcast.
Ooh, like a live play-by-play?
Yeah, this is the biggest thing to happen in this game in I don't know how long. You gotta do something special for it. Check it out. I've been building out a cryon package and everything, and figure we can stick this in the upper left corner.
I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, and then obviously we can update the scoreboard whenever those football leave Tech's field. But then eventually we'll put up a big old 24 for Michigan State. Hopefully.
You know what might be cool? Would it be possible to get a running clock for Nick and Manny's OBT?
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that too much trouble?
No, definitely not. Hold on. How about that? And then we can just have the seconds tick down whenever we're off the field.
Perfect. Any guesses as to how much OBT they're going to lose?
Well, I gotta say, I think Mike was right. How well Nick places this throw has less to do with how smart and well prepared he is, and more to do with luck. I actually think he'll overshoot the field by a mile or so. Feel like they're underestimating how far that train is going to coast. Hate to say it, but I bet Manny loses like 4 minutes running after it. And as for Nick, that's all about where the locomotive's parked. It's never the exact same place. I bet he loses 30 seconds running up to the cab to start it up.
I'll be the optimist then. I say Nick fires a direct hit and the train stops right on top of the Spartans' field. Neither loses a second.
Could happen. And if it does, we'll have the coverage. So I was hoping I could have y'all on the crew. I could run the scoreboard. 9, you're good at tracking data. You want to watch the other teams or just see if they move?
Got it.
And 10, you're always the best at camera work. You want to be director?
No, wait, I'm sorry. Who's the broadcast for?
I mean, just us. Just for fun.
Ah. What?
Fine if you think this is dumb, but you know how much this means to him.
But I mean, look at the graphics package. It's so sloppy. He just took the first layer and stretched it out. The diagonal lines don't even run parallel.
Who cares? It's just us.
I mean...
Come on, sis. It would make him so happy.
I know. Okay, all right. Yeah, you know what? This sounds fun. I'll work the camera.
Hell yeah! I thought you were gonna say no. I was like, fuck else is she gonna do?
All right. Lots of teams to track. I'm going to get started now. Where do I get that data?
Here, I'll give you access to all the team logs. I hope this goes without saying, but do not share this with fucking anybody, please.
Oh, yeah. Promise. Oh, shit. All right. So I can pull up Ohio State. And what it's showing me here is that Ohio State has a squad of 41 players just a little to the south of their stadium.
Yep.
And their play call at the moment is to head south, then hang left to go east on UNC's field.
Yep.
We know this how?
Oh, game officials have full access to every team's communication logs. It's updated in real time, too.
This is great. Why didn't you show me this before? Wow, I wonder why they're headed down there. Maybe they're just kind of going fishing, making rounds through a few fields and hoping they run into a team with a football. Or wait, there's 41 of them, so they might just plan on sifting through UNC's field in a horizontal line looking for a football someone's hidden. You figure if the field's 160 feet wide, that's about 4 feet per player, just looking down and kicking over leaves and stuff. Wait, couldn't be that. UNC doesn't have any footballs on the scoreboard. What are they doing? This is so cool.
Hey, lady. Just wanted to say thanks. I think this game means a lot to Nine. I appreciate you showing enthusiasm for it.
Oh, of course.
This is so fucking cute, man.
This is
Yeah,
so
this is
wholesome.
some wholesome shit right here. Fucking 10 o'clock. Ugh. Oh, fuck. Come on, pick up. Hey, you've reached Manuel Bay's free safety for your San Diego State. Wake up, Jesus! Aztecs and official notary public for photos, autographs, or notarizations may be at the 2400-yard line southeast of the stadium, Mondays and Fridays between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Leave your message after the beep. Beep. Babe, call me as soon as you get this. We got a train. It's almost perfect. 3 cars. Can't tell what engine it is yet, but it's just barely off the field. Bet I can reach the fuel tank. We should go tonight. Call me back.
Oh, shit. That train's almost as good as they could ask for. Sounds like we're going live tonight. You good to go?
Yep.
All right, let's start the broadcast at 6 p.m. Eastern.
You excited?
Dude, nobody's about to set every talk radio show in this country on fire for the next 50 years. Everyone knows something happened, something big. Something that'll make a lot of people mad and hurt a lot of feelings, and yet they won't actually know what happened. Perfect recipe for lunacy. Yes, I'm excited.
This is gonna be delightful.
All right. Yeah. Here we go.
All righty.
One night in May of 1910, a train mysteriously bolted out of the rail yard in Emery Gap, Tennessee. Ooh. It managed to reach a speed of 60 miles per hour before finally reaching an incline a few miles away and coming to a stop. 1110 years later, San Diego State football is about to attempt the same stunt on the very same track. Thank you for tuning in.
You are looking live as we bring to you today's coverage of San Diego State versus the world as they attempt to lateral the ball between the fields of Georgia Tech and Michigan State. Bringing you action today will be myself, Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, along with me in the booth as my broadcast partner, Pioneer 9.
Glad to be with you, partner.
This broadcast is brought to you by Lunchable Sushi with crisp cracker roll and a ham-filling yolk.
Nope.
Fine. We're joining the action now as Nick Navarro gets ready to make the throw. Siphon the diesel fuel out of the tank as Navarro. His aim is to start the engine and give it just enough fuel to stop at nearby Emery Gap, about 13 miles away. In the year 2216 year history of this bowl game, I've seen few schemes as ambitious as this one.
Looks like he's just letting it spill on the ground.
Yep, welcome home, fuel. It appears to leaving only about 5.5 gallons of diesel. Their unusual call here. I don't think he's going to get enough zip on the ball. What do you make of it, partner?
I have to agree, this train's got 3 cars on it. You won't figure you're only going to get around 1 mile per gallon. He needs to make more than double this to make it 13 miles. He could be hanging his receiver out to dry here.
Well, apparently he's satisfied before he leaves for the cab. He sets football right there on the outside of the chassis.
Smart move here. If you look, you see the balls are still within Georgia Tech's field. He doesn't want to set off their alarm bells until the very last possible minute.
Running to the cab now is Navarro. The clock on his OBT is officially rolling. 9 is the first time he slapped off the field in centuries.
He's got to get this engine started as quickly as possible. Every second that rolls off the clock, Jay, that's a second that'll take an entire year to earn back.
10 seconds off the clock now. We'll be following the train as it rolls west. Strap in with us. 20 seconds.
This is too much time.
30 seconds.
This is getting into dangerous territory. If he kills much more time, he's not going to have a shot at the desert run in California.
45 seconds gone now for Navarro.
This play is turning into a disaster for San Diego State. Way too much time in the pocket. He's got to get rid of the ball. What is he doing? I don't know if there's engine trouble or what. What a scene here in Tennessee. At this point, Navarro is effectively taking himself out of the running to make it to home to San Diego.
And here we go. Navarro jumps off the train and lets it ghost ride. He's now back on the field, and his OBT clock stops at 16 minutes 43 seconds. Crucial amount of time burned off the clock there.
I'll tell you what, this train is moving faster than I thought it would. We're gonna see if we can give you a picture of something here. 10, can we get a camera on Tech Field right on the track?
He uncoupled it.
He uncoupled the freight cars.
Navarro clearly taking the extra time off field so he can uncouple the locomotive. He must have given us some trouble, but what a move!
And all of a sudden, 5.5 gallons of fuel sounds just about right. Meanwhile, it looks like Georgia Tech's taken notice, and wow, all the squads are immediately being called back. All the teams in Michigan, too.
Back in Tennessee, the train makes some turns as we enter the home stretch. And partner, it's slowing down just the right time. Wow, what an approach. And the train's coming to a stop. That's only 50 yards from the field. Incredible touch on this throw.
Unbelievable. His receiver's only going to need to burn a few seconds of OBT to go get it.
And now all I have to do is wait for the programs across the country to notice the scoreboard.
There's Ohio State. They just saw the scoreboard clearly, and they are wasting no time. There's Georgia sending a little more than 60. Look at Oklahoma State. They're sending the house after them. Purdue, South Carolina sending 100 players. They're all coming.
They're taking the bait. It worked. Jesus Christ, it worked! Holy fuck!
Squads from all over are converging on the Georgia Tech field. The whole country's lighting up.
And friends, it ain't there. It's right under everybody's nose and they got no fucking idea. Friends, this is instantly one of the greatest throws in college football history.
The locomotive lateral.
The locomotive oh, you're shitting me! I had that in my pocket for 20 years!
Sorry.
Fuck!
That shit was intense. I love
Holy
it.
shit.
Good.
Oh, that was awesome.
I got to pull out my announcer voice for that one.
Yeah.
That was very fun.
Oh,
That was
good.
nuts.
That was awesome.
Holy cow. I haven't gotten that invested in a sports game in
Right.
I don't know how long.
Oh, that was awesome.
As
Everyone.
soon as soon as I read the line, they're uncoupling the cars, I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what
I-
I was thinking. I was like, oh.
I can
Oh
only
my
imagine that,
god.
like, I can only imagine like seeing that on TV though. Bro.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I also love the fact that they like, because up until this point in the story, there hasn't been like maybe a crazy amount of like emotional energy to it.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of just sort of understanding and like looking at how the game operates.
Ah, yes.
But
this
like
thing is
literally
happening.
the scene before this whole thing happened, they go into like Nick and Manny's like sort of emotional stakes in the game
And then we got
where
the wholesome like family moments with the satellites.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so cute.
Ah.
I love it.
Shit slaps. That is all
God.
for tonight that we have. Before we end the stream, I actually want to give a quick thank you to one particular person that donated to the channel Ko-Fi,
Oh,
specifically saying, so first off, a big thank you to ZizTed.
Thanks,
The name will be
ZizTed.
showing up in the screen here. Specifically sent $10 with the comment, really loved your videos on 177076 and 20,020. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, bud.
oh, thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're happy to be doing it because it's
We're
a lot of
happy you love
fun.
it.
No one.
Yeah. So I wanted to acknowledge that there's also, depending on if we get any Fourth Wall memberships by the time this episode goes up, those will also be showing up after this little outro bit, because I don't know if that's happened yet.
Woo.
But for now, if you were watching this live, thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are watching this on the edited version, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series as much as we are. If you want to see the blooper reel when this series is done, that's gonna be a Fourth Wall exclusive. Yeah, I mean for us in the crew, like I'll get it to you guys one way or another. But yeah,
On the
if you
list
wanna
video.
if you're watching the edited version, then you've probably missed a lot of moments where we suddenly get a bad case of the giggles.
Yeah.
And if you want to see all those moments, that'll be available on Fourth Wall, accessed by $10 members. Which is also to say that if you want to get some merch, that is also on the Fourth Wall shop now. The Steam Labs merch store is dead. I have killed it myself.
Yeah. Just in pieces.
Murder.
Its head is resting on my mantle on the wall.
I have its skin as a coat.
You what?
What?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
Bonk wears its skin.
Huh?
I didn't skin Streamlabs. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright.
You're crazy.
That seems
You're
pretty
a crazy
difficult.
guy.
Crazy.
I was crazy
I won't
once. They put me in
fucking tell
another
anybody.
room.
Don't tell anybody.
Anyway, all the other things, if you like the video, you can click the like button, helps me out in the algorithm. If there's any other sort of like audio theater related things that you'd like to see us do, let us know in the comments.
Suggestions.
Yeah.
Please.
We covered a good amount of ground today. We got about 3 chapters done today.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did 3 chapters
This is
today.
So-
12,
progress.
right? So we're past the
We're
half.
making progress
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. So let us know what you'd like to see in the future. If you want to subscribe, this is a good time to do that. You can also ring the bell. And until next time, we will see you later.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, that's
can do
right.
that.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. 20 seconds of random talking.
With
20
what?
seconds
It's a
of random bullshit.
We have to fill
Let's
the
see if we can hear
space.
some
20
Obapers.
seconds of
Bullshit.
fucking
No, he keeps
bullshit.
walking away from me.